Welcome back, Hive Mind. This is Shalazar with Hive Mind Gaming, coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to take a look at the information about the 4 bosses for the Doom Tower that was data mined by Manable and his crew over there at Manable Gaming. There on his Discord. Go check him out. He's amazing. He's a great dude and very chill. So what we're going to take a look at today is those 4 bosses. And the reason we're going to take a look at those 4 bosses is because the Doom Tower is coming out this Monday. That's right, guys. It was just announced by Polarium this morning that patch 3.0 will be coming soon. Probably my guess is 3.0 will be coming this weekend with the start of the Christmas Fusion is my guess. And then Doom Tower will come out on the 7th. So get ready, guys. It's actually going to be here. But what you really need to get ready for is the multiple reboots and crashes and server resets that is going to have to happen because it's a new patch and nothing ever goes right with this company. So anyway, let's get into it, guys. So we've got 4 bosses we're going to take a look at today and see what they are bringing to the table. So first off, we've got Agareth the Nether Spider. He's as usual, they have knocked it out of the park when it comes to the art. I wish they would have picked something different than spiders. I mean, I don't know if someone in the company just really thinks spiders are terrifying, which I guess for some people they are. But, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, think out of the box and do something different. I like the other 2. Well, one's a little boring. It's another dragon, but the 4th one is kind of cool. It was a little outside the box. I like it. All right, so let's get into Agareth the Nether Spider. So his first ability is Envenomed Strand. Attacks all enemy, places a 5% poison for 4 turns. 4 turn, 5% poison. Oof. Repeats the attack for each spiderling without buffs. Cannot be resisted or blocked. So cannot be resisted or blocked. That means block debuffs is not going to work. So someone like Sifi who comes in with the block debuffs won't work. And if you got someone with really high resist, not going to work. They're taking that damage. This would be a good place for Mossbeard, because you're going to take the spiders anyway. So, or take the poisons anyway. So you might as well get some use of having those poisons by using Mr. Old Mossbeard so you do more damage while poisoned. So that might be an option to help against this boss. Let's see. His second ability, Brood Feast, spawns 4 spiderlings, then puts counterattack on them for 3 turns. Attacks all enemies with spiderlings if at least 1 is spawned. Max 4 alive. So I guess it will do this ability when there's 4 alive, or maybe the max spiderlings that can come out are 4. So it will only spawn up to 4, maybe? I don't know. Some of these are worded really poorly. Now keep in mind, this is only about 90% accurate. This stuff was data mined from the actual game. So it's already in the game. Now it just needs to be implemented. But things can change by the time they bring out the Doom Tower. So keep that in mind. Hopefully the wording will be much different because some of it is just bad. All right, so the third ability is a passive, Elder Lurker. Counterattacks when enemy decreases Agareth's turn meter damage equal to lost turn meter. All right, so if you have someone in there like a Valkyrie who does decreased turn meter on her A1, or, you know, if you have someone like Cold Heart that to nuke the spider, her decreased turn meter is going to hurt you as well. So keep that in mind when choosing champs to face this guy. The last passive is Tide of Toxins. Attacks all enemies at start of each turn. Jesus. Combust poisons. So increase debuff duration when attacked, then place weaken. Alright, so attacks all enemies at the start of each turn. So that means each one of your guys are going to get attacked at the start of each turn by this guy. So he's basically going to get two separate actions. This one and then its normal action. Combust poison. So I'd say that's a poison explosion. So all those poisons that he's putting on you, he's blowing up. And then increase debuff duration when attacked, then place weaken. Interesting. So I'm wondering if combust poison doesn't actually blow them up. It just makes them tick. So everyone will take a tick of the poison damage. Oh, that'd be gross if he doesn't actually blow them up and they actually just tick on you. So you just take the poison damage, just like if it was the beginning of your turn. So at the beginning of every turn, you take poison damage, and then during your turn, you take poison damage. And then when you attack him, it increases the duration of all debuffs, and you get weaken placed on you. So that's kind of like Krisk, where if you attack him, he gives you decreased defense. So it'd be similar to that. If you attack this boss, one, all your debuffs are gonna go up in duration, and then two, you're gonna receive weaken. Now, one thing I haven't noticed with most of these bosses is there's no passive like normal bosses. Like normal bosses say you can't do the transfer life, you can't do anything that decreases their life total, things like that, and they're immune to freeze, sleep, all that stuff. That's not listed on here. Now, that may be a thing once it comes out, but as of right now, that's not something that you can that's showing in this data mined information. Now, once you're dealing with the Nether spider, you also have to deal with its spiderlings. Now, the spiderling abilities are attacks all enemies, places a 5% poison for 2 turns, and this cannot be resisted or blocked. Holy crap. And then heals Agareth by 10% each time spiderlings counterattacks. Place ally protect on Agareth whenever counterattack is removed or expires. Ally protect cannot be removed. Wow. Okay, so heals Agareth by 10% each time spiderlings counterattack. So Agareth is placing the counterattack on the spiderlings and forcing them to attack. If you do an AoE that attacks the spiderlings and Agareth, then they're going to counterattack, and when they do, they're going to heal him, plus once the counterattack is removed or expires, then they put an ally protect up against Agareth. Jesus, that's crazy. That's crazy good. Wow, so he's gonna be tough to deal with. Sounds like you're gonna need to bring in cleanses, because you can't resist or block the debuffs. So you're gonna need someone with cleanses. So I think Doom Priest is gonna be huge in this, and champs like that. So you've got Still Skull that's got a good cleanse. That's Just thinking of epics. So you got Still Skull, you've got Doom Priest, guys like that can actually come in and cleanse your champs. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. So yeah, cleanses are going to be big, and I think single target champs are going to be big because you don't want to activate the counter attack on those spiderlings. So yeah, that's going to be rough. That's going to be a rough champ. All right, next we've got Borgoth the Scarab King. So Borgoth the Scarab King. Now this dude looks pretty cool. I love the fact that they actually thought out of the box for this guy. He's not just a spider. I mean, kind of, sorta, but I mean, it's like they're running out of ideas or something. But anyway, let's see. So he's only got 4 things that he's bringing to the table. First thing is Madness Fog. Attacks all enemies, places decreased attack and speed. Extra hit on enemies with no shield. Extra hit places Provoke. So he's attacking everybody, placing a decreased attack and decreased speed on everybody. And then if you have no shield, then he places an extra hit. If he places the extra hit, then he also places a Provoke. Ooh, interesting. So you're going to want shields on this guy with your champs. Let's see. His second ability, Vile Absorption, attacks all enemies, places extra hit for each buff. Jesus. So he wants you to have shields, and if you do, he's going to punish you for it. Each extra hit steals 1 random buff if no shield, or removes 1 buff if shielded. Places True Fear if no buffs are stolen, or Fear if no buffs are removed. Holy crap. So if you have high resist, you can resist this, it sounds like. So attacks all enemies. It will place an extra hit for each buff. So someone like Sifi, who throws out 3 buffs, that's 3 hits on each of your guys. Jesus. And so if you have no buffs removed at all, so if you resist, or if you didn't have any buffs to begin with, then you gain a Fear. If no buffs are stolen, then you get a True Fear. It checks for stolen first to give you the True Fear, and if you get the True Fear, then it doesn't check for anything else. But if nothing was stolen, then it checks to see if anything was removed at all. If not, then you get the Fear. So, wow. Okay. So he's either going to remove a buff or give you Fear or True Fear. Jesus, man. All right. And so his next ability is a passive. It's Spectral Horror. Decreases damage received according to how much max HP has been decreased. Damage received is minus 90% if max HP decreased less than 10%, 60% if 10 to 20, 30% for 20 to 30, and 0 if more than 30. All right, so this ability is kind of the way they have it written is kind of confusing. So basically what it's telling you is you have to bring in someone like Rodus, who has the ability to reduce his max HP, because if you drop his max HP by less than 10%, so I'd say that's also at 100%, you only do 10% of the damage that you're inflicting. So in other words, if you haven't dropped his max HP at all, when you hit him for the first time, you're only going to do, like, let's say you're going to do 100 points of damage. It now is only 10 points of damage, because you get negative 90% damage to your attack. So 90% of the damage you're doing is going to be wasted if you don't drop his HP. So that's going to be a really long fight unless you have champs in there that can drop HP, max HP. Wow. So once you get him past 30%, you get no more negatives to the damage you're dealing. So minus 90% of your damage is getting through, so you're only getting 10% through if you have less than 10% decreased HP. You're only getting 40% through if you're at 10 to 20%. You get 70% through if you're 20 to 30, and you get the full 100% damage if you have him at negative 30 HP, max HP. Wow, that's crazy. That's gonna make that fight long. Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. So that's gonna make Rhodos viable again, at least for that bad guy. So yeah. So I guess everybody that was crying about Rhodos being nerfed, this is where he's gonna shine again. All right, and then the last passive is Easy Prey. Counterattacks when attacked by enemy with no shield. Again, no shield. So if you don't have shields in your group, like a Valkyrie or a miscreated monster or Warlord, etc., then that's gonna bring down this guy, or that's gonna make this guy even harder to kill. So yeah, so you need shields, you need champs that bring big shields, you need champs that do decreased max HP. Yeah, so that's gonna be a tough fight. So next we have Koldath the Magma Dragon. Koldath the Magma Dragon. His first ability is Brand with Weakness. Attacks one enemy, and it decreases the turn meter by 50%. Will target enemies under Hex. So if you guys don't remember what Hex is, basically it's a debuff from Minotaur where it doubles the damage, any damage coming into the champ that has Hex on them, it doubles the damage that champ receives. So let's see. His second ability is Overburn. Attacks all enemies instantly, activates HP burn, and decreases duration by 1 turn. Alright, so if you have HP burn on you, it's going to instantly tick it for damage. So you're going to take the HP burn. Like when you start your turn, everybody burns. That's going to be rough, because if you've got 5 champs and all 5 have HP burn, that means all 5 are going to be hit 5 times, because each one is going to activate. Ooh, that's going to hurt. And it decreases the duration by one. So that makes sense. So it's activating it. So it basically is saying, okay, you're activating, so decrease the turn meter or decrease the duration by 1, because it ticked. So that makes sense. Its third ability, Stoke the Flames, attacks all enemies, places HP burn for 3 turns, then steals 10% of turn meter from enemies under HP burn, places a Hex debuff on lowest HP, cannot be resisted or blocked. Wow. All right, so the Hex can't be resisted or blocked. So that's going to go on whoever's got the lowest HP. But everybody is going to get the HP burn for 3 turns. But I would assume that can be resisted or blocked, because it doesn't say it can't. And anyone who takes the HP burn, it steals their turn meter, meaning that this guy can get an extra turn as well. Oof. And then we've got Lethal Lava. Places a Hex debuff on an enemy whenever they have a hex debuff removed. So I wonder if that's just removed and doesn't count for when it expires. It actually doesn't say. Like, his third ability does not say that it places the hex debuff for a certain time limit. Does that mean once you get the hex debuff, you've got it for good unless you cleanse it? That would be gross, because that would mean that the only way to get rid of it is by removing it. So that would make the lethal lava make sense. Places a hex debuff on an enemy whenever they have a hex debuff removed. So yeah, so that means you're permanently. No, because I guess the passive doesn't say that. The passive doesn't say that it can't be resisted or blocked. So if you have block debuffs up and then you cleanse it, then it can't place another one. But if you don't have block debuffs up and you remove it, it's just going to turn around and give it right back to you. Wow, that's gross. That's gross. All right. So his next passive is ignore block damage, shield, unkillable, and 100% of defense for enemies under hex. Wow, that's gross. So anyone under hex, just block damage, shield, and unkillable are just completely ignored, and so is 100% of their defense. It removes HP burn from dragon and replace with continuous heal. So if you use HP burn on the dragon, it's just gonna flip it and turn it into a continuous heal. Fantastic. All right, and its last passive, Molten Dragon immunity, excluding Provoke. All right, so this is the only one out of the 4 that says that it has any kind of immunities. My guess is the Molten Dragon immunities is going to be like the regular immunities for all the bosses, where it's immune to it might be turn meter manipulation, who knows, but probably going to be immune to the sleep, the stun, the freeze, that kind of thing. But it says excluding Provoke, which sounds like you're going to be able to provoke this guy. So if you can get a provoke champ like Molly, or I don't know, Rock Crusher from the dwarfs, or Gnarlhorn, whatever, anybody who can provoke and with a high resist, so they can resist that hex debuff when the passive ticks after you cleanse. So I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be a rough one, man. Wow. He's going to be a lot of fun to try to crack. That's going to be a fun nut to try to crack for sure. But yeah. Excluding Provoke. So yeah, so this one and the last one, the Scarab King, where he throws out the AoE Provoke. See, this is why I told everybody to do the Vagumkar Dracomorph's elderly grandmother. I told everybody that he was going to be viable in Doom Tower, and there you go. There's 2 bosses that he'll be good in, because he'll be able to cleanse. He will ignore the Provoke on the other boss, and I mean, he's just gonna be good. He's gonna be good in these 2 bosses. So yeah, I hope you guys fused him. Finally, we have Sorath the Frost Spider. Now, his first ability is Whiteout, attacks all enemies. Please decrease accuracy. Pretty sure that's supposed to be a places decreased accuracy. So he's going to give decreased accuracy to all of your tunes. His next ability is Katabatic Winds. I hope I'm saying that right. Attacks all enemies, places block buffs and a heal reduction on frozen enemies, places decreased speed and decreased attack on not frozen enemies. So if you're frozen, you're going to get block buffs and heal reduction. If you aren't frozen, if you're not frozen, then you're going to get decreased speed and decreased attack. So either way, he's slowing you down, even if you can do something during your turn. All right, his next ability is Absolute Zero. Removes all buffs from enemies, then attacks and places freeze 100%. So he's got a 100% chance, which still means you can resist it. It's just he's going to be able to place it just automatically if you don't have the resist. All right, and then chance reduced to 50% if Sorath is under HP burn. Fills turn meter 20% for each freeze placed. All right, so if he freezes all 5 of your guys, that means he's going again. He's going to take an extra turn. If you have HP burn on him, then it's only a 50-50 chance that he's going to place the freeze. Wow, that's crazy. And then the removes all buffs from the enemies. Oof, that hurts. That hurts. You're going to need high resist for this guy. Frozen Limp is his next ability. It's a passive. When attacked, has 20% chance to freeze. Increases defense and resist if not under HP burn. So he's just automatically going to have a higher defense and a higher resistance if you don't hit him with an HP burn. So this is where Ultimate Gaelic or Tyrant or that schmuck in the bazaar that they're trying to give us, that's where these guys are going to shine. This guy right here is where those guys are going to shine. That's kind of cool. I dig it. When attacked, has a 20% chance free. So there's 20% chance that you'll get frozen every time you hit him. So he's like wearing a freeze set. All right, his last ability is Purge by Flame, which is a passive. Revives Sorath with 50% HP, full turn meter, and skills reset if killed while not under HP burn. Also spawns 2 spiderlings. Wow. So if he dies and he doesn't have HP burn, he automatically resurrects and spawns 2 spiderlings on top of that. Wow, crazy. Crazy. All right, so Sorath Spiderlings removes all debuffs from Sorath. So their first ability is just to remove debuffs. Instantly transfers decreased defense and weaken to this Spiderling if not under leech. Will convert debuffs to weaker versions on transfer. Interesting. So it doesn't say anything about summoning spiders or anything like that. So my guess is he's going to have 2 spiderling ads, just like the ice golem. And once you kill them, they're probably going to be gone unless he resurrects himself. And once he resurrects himself, then it's going to be all 3 of them again. But I'd say once you kill I'd say this guy is going to be very important to kill the 2 spiderlings first, because they're gonna strip off the debuffs off of him every time they go. And then not only that, but if they don't have a leech placed on them, then they're instantly transferring decreased defense and weaken to the spiderling. So if you put decreased defense or weaken on the boss, then they're going to take it from him so he doesn't have it. and then of course they convert it to the weaker version when they transfer it. Wow. Okay, so that's interesting. That is very interesting. So you're going to need someone with leech. You're going to need someone with leech. You're going to need someone with HP burn. And probably, I mean, it doesn't say that he's immune to anything. So it's going to be interesting to see when these guys come out, to see if they're actually going to be immune to stuff. Because if you can roll in with someone like Miscreated Monster who has a stun set on, something like that, and just try to CC all three of them, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to be actually immune to stuff. Now, one other thing that I wanted to point out about these bad guys, these Billy Bad Arses, is that they are dropping specific things when you beat them. So each one is going to have a armor set that is specific to that boss, and it only drops when you kill that boss. So that's the only time you can farm them. Now you'll be getting keys. We'll be getting keys, but you're only going to get them on a daily basis, kind of like Faction Wars, I believe. And each time you fight a room, you're going to have to spend a key to do it. But once you beat there's going to be the secret rooms, the side quest rooms. Once you actually beat that room, you can continuously fight that side room. You can keep going in it without spending a key, but you don't get any extra benefits. The bosses are going to be different. The bosses, once you beat them, you get all the rewards for beating them, and then it becomes farmable because you can continuously spend keys to farm that room. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out where you want to spend your keys when you get this. So the idea of getting new gear seems kind of neat. So I don't know. Also, for Sorath, a good one for her against that one would also be Dark Elaine, where she anytime someone freezes, she blows up. So that would also be a really good one for this spider boss. I may have to level my Dark Elaine now. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I've got for this video. If you like what you heard and you want to see more, hit the like button and join the Hive by hitting the subscribe button. We'll see you soon. Bye.